I'm bored. Do you have anything to say about this book?
Why are all of these books sexy?
But where's the horror?
Thug Life chose me. Ew! It's like a tentacle.
Oh my god!
Ew!
Greetings, victims. I mean friends. Today is a very special video, one that I have been excited about for a while. I have been stewing this idea in my brain and now it is time for it to come to fruition. In this video, I am going to be experimentally reading and unhauling horror books that have very unsettling phobia elements. Insect phobia, body horror, trypophobia, things that creep and lurk in the dark. And I'm very, very excited to be doing this inside of a creepy Halloweeny fort that I am building all on my own. Giving a little extra hand during this video is going to be sex toys. Chronically single, perpetually alone Jessie, reading horror books and using sex toys as a measure of how much I'm enjoying these books. I'm gonna have a toy and I will be either using it as a prop while reading the passages to y'all, or I will be turning on that toy, holding it in my little paw and increasing vibrations based off of the horror and intensity of the scene. And if a book does not hit level 3 vibrations, that means it's gotta go, it's gotta get unhauled. Before we get to the actual building of the fort, decorating it with lights, creating that cozy, crazy, sexy, cool atmosphere for me to get creeped the hell out in, I wanna give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is none other than Bellesa. My friends over at Bellesa are literally sending out free vibrators to anyone who signs up for their giveaway. Y'all know I have worked with them before and absolutely adored the experience, which is why I'm back to collab a second time. It is Bellesa's belief that everyone deserves pleasure and they want everybody to be able to embrace their sexuality and find something for them. Let's talk about the 4 juicy, each very unique toys that they have sent over that are gonna be the props that I'm using in this video. Here we have the Pebble, suction and vibration controlled independently. It is ergonomically built to fit perfectly in your hand, and the best part, there's no annoying pattern modes. Next up, we're coming in hot with my new favorite, the Air Vibe. It features dual stimulation and comes in the most discreet casing. It's also waterproof, so you can take it with you into that bath or hot tub, rechargeable and silent, but oh so deadly. The Demi Wand, compact, waterproof, USB rechargeable. The flexible neck allows you to get to just that angle or pressure that you're after. No annoying pattern modes. Then we have the Thump, a toy that vibrates, suctions, and thumps. True feel vibrations naturally complement the suction at its targeted base. It fits and charges in a discreet carrying case, is waterproof and USB rechargeable, and made from premium quality silicone. If you're unsure of what to go with, the Pebble and the Air Vibe are my personal favorites. Treat yourself to something nice and use the link in my bio. Babies, I almost forgot to introduce you to the books that we're going to be featuring in this video. There is a nice little stack here. The first is Wild Spaces by S.L. Coney. This is about an 11-year-old boy who lives an idyllic childhood. Couldn't possibly have been me. He's on the remote coastal plains and wetlands, disgusting, of South Carolina alongside his parents and his dog. But when his eerie, estranged grandfather shows up with no warning, revealing hidden secrets, he feels something within him changing physically. Something his grandfather welcomes and his parents fear. I absolutely love that synopsis. I have had Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer on my shelves for a while. This is about a team of women who are on an expedition. One is an anthropologist, another a surveyor, a psychologist, and the narrator who is a biologist. Their mission is to map the terrain and record all of the observations of their surroundings of Area X, and they have to avoid being contaminated by Area X itself. But of course, contamination ensues, and so does extreme body horror. Oh my god, I almost choked. We also have Sister Maiden Sister Maiden Monster. This is another body horror juicy story, and this cover is incredible. During an apocalypse and what we become as human beings after. We have 3 POVs One who is a professional BDSM switch who discovers a new turn-on, committing brutal murders for her eldritch masters. Another who is plagued with chronic tumors and is too horrified to acknowledge her divine role in the coming apocalypse. And then we have another who is quiet and closeted and has an appetite for a woman and her brain. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to the handyman method. I think I'm going to take this off of this TBR because it doesn't have body horror. But the last 3 books do. We have Infested, which is a book. It's one of my anticipated releases. It's about this boy named Manny Rivera who moves to Texas from the Bronx. And his new apartamento is very...
First of all, it's haunted by a ghost.
The ghost of an exterminator, no less. And it is infested with insects. That is going to be hard. So I'm excited and nervous and hesitant to be reading some insect horror. I'm nervous. Like, I'm just getting, like, flustered thinking about it. And then we have The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw, who I have yet to have enjoyed a work from. I'm actually not even sure if this has body horror, but it's the twisted tale of a mermaid, a plague doctor, and the strange village that they find deep in the woods full of magic and something more sinister. Definitely gonna read at least one horror scene from this book and see how we're feeling. And finally we have Mayfly. This is by C.L. Lead. I can't remember what this is about, but the cover was
all I needed to know.
And the publisher asked if I wanted a copy and we were like, absolutely. So Mayfly, on the back, it says serial killing is no longer a boys club. And I have an entire shelf on my bookcases dedicated to woman serial killers and woman killers. This is definitely up my alley. It's been blurred by Stephen Graham Jones and described as gory, brutal, beautiful, painful, terrifying, and a delight, aka my sex life. Mayfly works at the happiest place in the world as everyone's favorite ice princess.
Oh, this is not gonna end well.
But when Gideon Green, her best friend's brother, moves to town, he awakens something dangerous in her. A bolder, bloodier persona inspired by the pages of American Psycho. Unforgettable debut, blood-soaked love letter to LA. So I'm not really sure why there's so many teeth and like body horror looking things. Maybe I'll find out. Now without further ado, let's get to building this epic fort. Hi. All right, cuties, the house is ready to be fortified. Get it? Fortified? You know, because we're building a fort. Never mind. We have blankets over there, and then these are gonna be our things that we're draping blankets on. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm going to be using paper, like book weights, to keep the blankets up there, and I'm so worried that they're gonna fall. But 'tis the season, it is fall, so we'll see if I live. All right, so we found one, and we found another. You know what I didn't think about? How all of my decorative lights are in that room. And I'm using that door to prop up these blankets. And if I take it apart, the whole thing's gonna fall apart because this sheet, this white sheet, is tied to that brown blanket in the back. Okay, sorry, camera was full. So that white sheet is connected to that, which is connected to that paperweight back there. So we're gonna try and open this door to get the decorations very slowly. Damn, Akasha jumped up there like, all right, I'm gonna watch you be stupid. Do you believe in me? Give me a kiss if you believe in me. Beso. Can I have a beso? She's thinking about it. A beso? Damn. All right, she doesn't believe in me. Neither did my father, so it's okay. Fuck my life, here we go. Oh. Agasha, please. We did it! Yeah! We did it! We did it! We did it! Yeah! We did it! I mean, you did nothing. I did it! Yeah! Back to your scheduled programming. Akasha won't let me take the blanket that she's on. Please? Okay. I want y'all to see how ridiculous she is. Look at this fucking dog. Just gonna borrow this. Yeah? Why are you so heavy? No! Agasha, please! Agasha, why? Yeah, now that the couch is... Really? Get down! Okay, gonna take this. Alright? Oh my god, I'm going to hell. I'm so sorry. You want a treat? Come on, let's get a treat. Let's get a treat. Okay, I'm sorry. Here, you can even eat it on the couch. Okay, lay down. There you go. I'm so sorry, puppy. Are you okay? Baby. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, enjoy your treat. Enjoy your treat. Good girl. Take this. This is what Fort Horror looks like so far. We still have a lot of work to do, but it's coming along. Oh my god, this is so cute. Look at this, you guys. Look how fucking cute it is. There's still this big gap up here. So I'm gonna fix that. Probably putting this sheet there. I have to pull my LED lights from my bedroom because I forgot that I stapled the lights down in there. So none of them are removable. And I did that as part of my fall reset video, which is gonna be linked down below if it's up by the time this video gets up. Caught in a bad romance. Okay, so, all right, now we've got the top covered. It's a little droopy there, but let's see if I can get that up higher. What are you doing? You can't come in here. No. This is NSFD, not safe for dogs. What up, my ghouls, and welcome to Fort Oregon. She is down in a single swing, but I rear back and hit her again, splitting her chest open, my breaths coming in hard and fast. I leverage my foot against her stomach to retrieve the medieval weapon, that's rude, bringing it up over my head again and crack her collarbones. Hate that for her. Nothing of her can remain alive. Nothing of this woman who would end my grandmother. Nothing. Okay, we get it. Nothing. I hack and I bludgeon until she is no more than meat. Until she is no longer a person who can speak words to doctors, who can send people here to take away the one thing that is mine. She lies in a masticated red steaming lump on the cellar floor, and I wait for my breath to come slower again. That's earned 1 vibration. He is standing in front of me, watching my face, his powerful arms and broad chest, his eyes alive too, with what I have done. And there it is between us, undeniable and vibrant. Get it? Vibrant? Want. Thick and powerful and thrumming. He closes the distance between us just as I grab for the back of his head and shove my tongue in his mouth. Blood and spit and his hands on my back and ass and his huge hard body.
Not his huge hard body.
I grab for his sweater and yank it up over his stomach and his chest. He pulls it the rest of the way over his head, discards it to the ice. Okay, we're gonna give it an extra vibration just for the creativity of the sex scene. All right, we're up to level 2, but I still haven't gotten that creepy body horror feeling. That's what I need to stay invested. I need more than just brute force and gore. He picks up one of the dildos as I step around and fasten the ball gag in her mouth. It sounds like she's about to have a terrible day. Oh my God! Across the pool table, he holds my eyes as he slides the toy into her. She moans and arches her back. Never mind, a very good day. He moves it in and out of her, slowly, deliberately watching me, the muscles in his forearm rippling beneath his skin. Thanks, I hate it here. His eyes still fixed to mine as he dips down and tongues her. I observe from across the table the way his tongue moves, the dip between muscle and bone in the tops of his shoulders, his hands gripping the pool table edges. Candle, I say, and then he drips wax on her. Vibrator, I say. He sets down the candle, walks slowly once over again to the table, and selects one of the vibrators. He takes the vibrator, presses it into her, and she arches her back again. The dildo is still inside her. Her breaths are coming. You know what? It gets a level 3. I'm intrigued, okay? Like a sexy horror book. And I genuinely just flipped to this page. I didn't know vibrators were gonna be on this, so Mayfly is officially staying. There's a reason the hunt is central to so many narratives. For all that humanity professes to delighting in its own sophistication, it longs for simplicity, for when the world can be deboned into binaries, darkness and light, death and life, hunter and hunted. It is this desire, perhaps, that drives so many to seek spouses among the inhuman and the immortal. Valkyries who cloak themselves in swan feathers, long-throated crane wives, foreheads slashed with scarlet, fox girls with bloody mouths and carnivore grins. Ooh, sign me up. Dryads, fairy women, the huldra with spines of gnarled bark. Okay, that sounds cool. And mermaids, of course, hunger and glimmering scales like nothing the air might ever produce and nothing the land could hope to keep. Damn, that's strong. Okay. That writing was strong. Really, really enjoyed that. But where's the horror? Ooh, it is always interesting to see how often women are described as ravenous, when it is the men who, without exception, take without thought of compensation. The writing is immaculate, I'm not gonna lie. I had to put that one down while I search for the next creepy scene because my hand is numb from these vibrations. This shit is strong, and that was just level 1. My teeth glimmer like knives, and I eat as my plague doctor unravels the lynx's corpse, removes the souvenirs we intend to leave in our wake. Hand, heart, unblinking eyes, I savor them all. The hand this time is flavored with copper. Its cartilage fractures like glass. The heart is a mouthful of brine and fermented raspberry. The eyes burst into effervescence, particularly tasteless. Beneath every note, I find him, the stink and salt of him, his fear intaglioed into a bloodied aftertaste. If I focus, I can almost hear the syncopation of his pulse, pained and urgent. He did not die easy. He did not die quick either. His flesh is pungent with trauma, acidic, nearly mush, textured like rotted shrimp. I swallow every bite nonetheless. Waste is deplorable, no matter how pitiful or poorly seasoned the victuals. I'm gonna give that a level 3. That was just level 1 vibrations. But in terms of writing and how intrigued and a little hungry I am, this is stay. Now let's move on to Infested by Angel Luis Colon. Ew! 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 Disgusting. I pulled the toilet paper away and brought my hand closer to my face. The skin on my palm was moving. There was something under there. The pain was excruciating and getting worse by the second. I caught whatever it was between my fingers and squeezed. As hard as I could pinch them out like a zit, I thought. Something writhed between my fingers as if it were trying to pull away. I squeezed harder and harder until I felt my skin split. Blood began to trickle down my wrist, and then I saw something poke out from between my fingers. 2 thin strands, both moving independently. Antennae. A head emerged, then a pill-shaped brown body covered in blood. That's really fucking gross. And I'm keeping that book. Next up, we're on to Sister Maiden Monster. I had to take a little walk because that was disgusting. Insect horror will get me every time, and that was very detailed. And I cannot wait to read that book. I'm so excited to read it. I think Sister Maiden Monster calls for this guy. Why are all of these books sexy? What is going on? Oh my god. Your safe word is red. Use it and I'll stop, I promise. Now pillow princess time. Just close your eyes. I did as she asked. Her lips moved to my right nipple, licking me, gently suck. Oh my god, I don't want this video to get demonetized. I hadn't been touched in months, and maybe not quite like this in years. Gregory tried, he really did, but he either used too much pressure and hurt me, or he used too little and tickled me. This was Goldilocks grade just right. Don't bring Goldilocks into this. Suddenly, a sharp, jarring pain, a razor cut an inch below my areola. She latched onto the wound, sucking hard. Who is texting me during this amazing scene? What are you? I began, but her hand was in my pants, her fingers sliding deep into my wet flesh, and just as suddenly, the pain was wonderful. Oh God, it was amazing. Oh, and it gets more. Not she gave me a pleased, bloodied Cheshire cat grin. Not we hadn't gotten a single drop on the creamy leather seats. Oh, wow. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing as I'm flipping through this book is that there are a lot of explicit sex scenes. So be prepared for that. I was not. Ew! Only got through the prayer twice before he let out a low, stifled moan and his latex-sheathed you-know-what spasmed and spat inside me. Yes, hello, I'm gay for life. But getting freaky in a monastery, getting plowed by his kaiju of a you-know-what, even though it hurt like a motherfucker, it got me going something awful. It wasn't just his blood I got on the sheet. I smeared you-know-what juice all over it first, dripped a glistening puddle of girl goo on the unforgiving floor I had to wipe up. After that, I wanted to come, damn it. I'd earned my nut. Not I'd earned my nut. And if I didn't kill him for it, I would have had to do someone else that night, so it might as well be him. And then later, I'm standing in a barren field as he floats in the air above me in Jesus pose. Not Jesus. His arms outspread to the gray, storm-threatening sky above us, barefoot in his cassock, the gash in his neck gaping like an aroused vagina. Gaping. Spent, cum crusted, you-know-what, flopping through his fly like a hound's lolling tongue. Just
as I'd left him. We're at a 2 so far, even though my level of discomfort is definitely a 3. Okay, we're putting it on 1 though, just so that y'all can still hear, and it's gonna be our little... Okay. Ew, I feel like it's like a tentacle, which is the theme of this book. I try to nod, but there's bright blood dipping.
Wait.
I try to nod, but there's bright blood dripping from my mask to the floor. A long-forgotten Bible verse surfaces in the swamp of my memory. Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. I look up and see my reflection in the chromed elevator walls. My face is gaunt, but my body is grotesquely swollen. My knit blouse is stretched tight over a huge curving lump that takes up most of my back. It itches. I don't even recognize the clothes I'm wearing. I must have brought them to accommodate this huge, strange mass, but I don't remember buying them. I've turned into some kind of hunchback. How long have I had this mask? I can smell his mind. His cell phone's out. He's torn between wanting to run away and wanting to help. Should I call someone? He asks. Should I call 911?
I'm dead. Why do I feel like he's about to die?
I'm keeping this. And I'm keeping this too. Hey. She's all, look, what a flexy girl. She said, hey, must be the money. If you want to go and take a vibe with me. Get it? Because the lyric is ride, but I said vibe. Okay, please don't unsubscribe. So next up, we're gonna do Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I hate this movie tie-in cover. Like, what are we doing? I do love how tiny this book is though, and I'm into the font as well. Who gets nerdy about book fonts? Because same. The first thing I will say, flipping through this book, is that the writing is really good. Like, I can see why people are so hot for this author's writing. A strange mood took hold of me, and I walked silent and alone through the last of the pines and the cypress knees that seemed to float in the black water, the gray moss that coated everything. It was as if I had traveled through the landscape with the sound of an expressive and intense aria playing in my ears. Gorgeous. Everything was imbued with emotion, awash in it, and I was no longer a biologist, but somehow the crest of a wave building and building, but never crashing to shore. Like, that gets level 1 vibration just for the writing, because one of the things that we love about horror is when the writing is flame. Intricate, gorgeous, and we have creepiness. There's this really misguided notion, particularly among people who don't read horror, that horror writing can't be literary level, that all horror writing is just cheesy dialogue and poorly written descriptions, that sort of thing. But that's not the case. Who's that? Who had to be in the fort? Is it you? You did? Huh? We're gonna do Wild Spaces next. And let's go with this guy as our visual aid. The old man's head starts to glow, the dome fading, becoming jelly-like. The boy stares, everything in him stilled and quiet, until his grandfather's eyes begin to sink into his head, forehead swelling up and down. Something inside the boy trembles, and he has to look away, his blanket clutched in his fists. The glow is small and golden at first. He tells himself to close his eyes, but he can't. He watches the light grow, watches it fall across his belongings. The model ship on his dresser. I don't care. There are shadows he can't place, like his mother's tiger lilies unfolding, delicate and shy. Something wet and meaty tears loose in his chest. Roiling, slithering up his throat, flicking his uvula. Grasping and pulling, he gags, eyes wide and watering, snot clogging his nose. Now we're talking. Okay, that's gonna earn you 1 vibration because it was a little too poetic. I'm like, is it scary or is it poetry? Pick one. Okay, so that's the bottom button. Okay, so we're just activating this part instead of the bottom. So there's like 3 parts to this: the bottom, this, and then this part, which is like the thumpy part. Akasha does not look happy about it. Look at her. Not impressed. Not a vibrator girly, huh? It's slow progress, but the deeper they get into the trees, the more magical the place seems. The water's so dark they can't see. I'm bored. No. I'm bored. This is our first no-go of the video. The Handyman's Method. This has gotten a lot of buzz. They sent me the ARC. I started reading it. I wasn't crazy about it, but I had a bunch of other things on my mind when I was reading it. So this is the finished copy. Let's see if there is something in this book that is going to earn it 3 vibrations. Please don't eat your ass by me. Do you have anything to say about this book? No? Okay. Something was clipped to the side that looked like a sous vide cooker or an aquarium aerator, but wasn't either. I hate that sentence, but wasn't either. The water, the liquid, the broth the turtle sat in bubbled away like a jet tub. Morty was almost completely encased in that colonizing pink. The turtle looked like a blush-colored sandcastle with crystallized stalagmites rising off the top of its shell. Under the bubbling, Rita heard another sound, the high drilling shriek of a tea kettle made of skin and shell. Are we cooking this turtle? The turtle's body jittered in the foam as if raw voltage was flowing through the liquid, as if someone had dropped a tiny electric toaster in Morty's water. Help him, Mommy! What did you do? She grabbed Milo, shook him. How about you get the turtle out of the boiling water? His body radiated in unnatural overcooked heat. What in God's name did you do? I tried, Milo yelped. Blue said to make a recipe that would fix Morty. Don't listen to that thing, she hissed. It doesn't want to help you. Mommies aren't always right, boys and girls, Blue chirped. The turtle kept making that insane, horrific squeal, the sound of a dog's jaws grinding on an India rubber ball.
What the fuck is that?
What did you put in the water, Milo? Blue's top secret recipe.
Oh my God.
Is he going to be okay, Mommy? Maybe he'll be fine. I don't think he's gonna be okay. As soon as she lifted the turtle from the bath, the cakey pink began to crumble away. It came off in cracking plates like sandstone, revealing the turtle's pink-tinged stomach plating and the cigar stubby legs. Rita turned Morty over gently, balancing it in her palm as she picked the crust off.
I don't think he's gonna be okay.
So apparently Blue is the name of this supercomputer that is in the house. They move into this house and the supercomputer starts like giving them advice, and the advice gets worse and worse. So it's safe to say that Blue doesn't like animals. He heard the dust thing heave itself. Oh wait, okay, all right, we found a creepy scene, finally. He could hear the thing whispering up the gap in the wall with the hiss of dead skin. It wasn't in any rush. Trent pictured ivy twining round a tree trunk, strangling it. For some stupid reason, he needed to see it again, to know it was real, not some figment his overheated brain had cooked up. He backed out to the bedroom door, eyes pinned to the trench in the closet wall. He forced himself to wait, his breath locked up under his ribs. The fingers spidered through the crack and over the baseboard, long and chalky. Trent slammed the bedroom door and ran like hell. Finally, a white boy who got some sense. Because that would have been me. First of all, I would have been gone long ago, but... He heard the dust thing heave itself through the crack, something as huge and porcine as a walrus that landed with a frightening thump. The floor trembled as it propelled itself across Trent's picture-perfect bedroom with a rubber bandy squeak. Ree. Perhaps moving with the peristaltic flex of a maggot. There was another, even more horrifying sound. A bone-like clatter inside the walls that told Trent the rest of its body was still in there, still disgorging itself from the crack.
I'm bored.
All right. 2 no's and 5 yeses. So we're doing well so far. And look at her little eyes. Hi. Hey, baby. You're a good girl. Yeah? You're a good girl. Let's switch to Central Park. This is by Guillaume Musso. I think this is a French author. Yes, he's the #1 best-selling author in France and has written 17 novels, including the thriller The Reunion. So, I've had this on my shelves for about a year and I've never picked it up. So let's see if now's the time.
Oh God, we're not off to a good start.
The font is not giving. Again, if you watched my last Reader Unhaul video, I talked about how my pet peeve is when I'm reading a book and it's a thriller and the author tries to create suspense by making increasingly short, chunky sentences. I can't stand that. It doesn't give for me. The road, speed, the landscape rushing past. the roar of the V8 engine. On the car radio, the timeless voice of Otis Redding.
Don't bring him into this.
A huge tachometer in the center of the antique dashboard, and the amber and honey highlights in Alice's hair. Every pause was a different period, and all of them were on different lines. I'm DNFing that, so now we're 3 for 5. Let's try The Awoken by Kate Monroe Howes. So The Awoken apparently is about a politically active young woman who dreams of changing the world, and then she finds out she has terminal cancer and is preserved through cryogenics, and 100 years later the scientists resurrect her. Those who are resurrected are known as the Awoken and are declared illegal and to be shot on sight. So there is a war in the United States between the resurrectionists and the Awoken. Oh, we dig this font. So let's look at the first sentence. In the prologue it says, "I was 23 years old when I died. It wasn't at all what I was told dying would be like. There was no white light or harp music or warm, peaceful serenity. It was cold and dark. The worst part of dying was that darkness." See, Akasha just left because she's bored. Go on. Go ahead. "I started laughing. It surprised me as well as the others. You think that scares me? I felt possessed. I was done with this nightmare. Done with the dead bodies and scared children. Done with the apocalyptic cityscapes and patrol stations. Most of all, I was done living in a world without Max." Aww. "I rushed toward Gina, took the barrel of her gun in my hand and pushed it against my head. 'Do it!' I screamed. She seems well." Damien stepped toward me cautiously. "Al, don't," he pleaded with genuine care in his voice. My mind raced. I didn't want to be there. I wanted everything to go back to the way it was. "Put me back under," I begged Gina, falling to my knees. She was my best hope. She didn't want me there either. "Put me back!" "It doesn't work like that, Al," Damien said in his calmest voice. "Let me explain." I didn't want him to explain. I didn't want to understand. I shook my head violently, reaching toward Gina's trigger finger. She tried to pull away, but I wouldn't let go. I wanted Max. If he was in the darkness, then that's where I wanted to be too.
Okay, Twilight.
As horrible as it was, at least things made sense here. There was nothing. I was nothing. That's what I wanted. I squeezed Gina's right hand tight around her pistol. And then the darkness came. I'm not sure if I feel intrigued enough. So this isn't a horror book. It's like a sci-fi thriller mystery with romance elements. So I'm not gonna get anything really scary, but I'm not sure if I'm intrigued enough to keep this book on my shelves. Let's try another scene. "My tears were for me too, for being brought into this nightmare. I didn't want any of it. I didn't choose it. Maybe it was stupid of me to think I'd wake up and just continue my life like nothing had happened, like I hadn't died."
But didn't you choose it though?
Because in the beginning it explicitly said that you elected to be frozen. And also, this is a trope that I just don't care for, the whole like, I didn't choose thug life chose me. Yeah, I'm gonna unhaul it. So since I'm running out of body horror books, I had to go through my library and I realized that there was one that I missed, and that is none other than Born by Jeff Vandermeer. People who are really big fans of his work have read this and said that it is even creepier than Annihilation. Now, as someone who has read neither of those books, I'm really intrigued and I'm very excited. And this is supposed to be about a researcher who discovers this alien thing and names it Born. First of all, you lost me at giving it a name, but that's me. A young woman named Rachel survives as a scavenger in a ruined city half destroyed by drought and conflict. The city is dangerous, littered with discarded experiments from the company, a biotech firm that is now derelict and punished by the unpredictable predations of a giant bear. A bear? One day, Rachel finds Born during a scavenging mission and takes him home. Not a gender. Born as salvage is a little more than a green lump, plant or animal, but exudes a strange charisma. If I find a green lump in the woods and I find it charismatic, something's wrong. How are you being bewitched by a green lump in the woods? On a scale of single to being entranced by a green lump in the woods, How desperate are you? Against her instincts,
Obviously.
Rachel takes Bourne home. She cannot help herself. Bourne makes Rachel see beauty in the desolation around her. She begins to feel a protectiveness she can ill afford. But as Bourne grows, he begins to threaten the balance of power in the city. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing may ever be the same. I'm pretty excited about this. Part of the fort has fallen down, but we're just gonna have to make do. Look, if Rachel can bring home a green lump from the woods, I can afford to let this part of the fort sag a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Since the bar's already in hell. Oh, it talks. Claw, Bourne said. I bring claw. With a showman's flourish, a pseudopod sproinged.
It literally says sproing.
Out from his flat body, much to Wick's discomfort and mine. He started, took a step back, while the stars withdrew and Bourne's normal eyes dotted his surface. The tentacle thus extended did indeed offer up to Wick. Claw. What the fuck is going on? Oops. Wick just looked at the proffered claw and I shuddered, seeing the blood splash factory floor all over again. Claw was almost as long as someone's forearm and fearsomely curved and ended in a point both broad and sharp. Is Claw a dildo? My giddiness was evaporating. Same. Mord, a huge golden brown bear rearing up on hind legs to blot out the sky, to destroy everything from dust motes to the sun. And me lying there looking up at that as his body extended higher still in the sky around that mass of fur, burning and seething, a corona around the utter impossible smothering thickness of his fur. I don't know, this is not giving. Is it working for y'all?
Because it's not working for me.
Something moist and sticky running down the side of my head. I couldn't feel my arms or legs. Those poor sad twigs. Damn, we'll get to the gym then. Wick had gone silent and limp, and I didn't know if that meant he was dead or unconscious. But with a gasping lurch, he reanimated, and I think that meant his last diagnostic worm had done something to stop the bleeding. That was a sentence I never wanted to hear. All of those words put together in that order in that sentence was unacceptable. I reversed myself enough in that tight space to look back with Wick, now inching right into me, up my body, about to crawl over me if I didn't inch forward too, which I did. I could see in the light not taken from us by the bear's silhouette, fuck this bear, that Wick's shoulder had been shredded by the swipe. 4 claw marks stretched across, tearing away the fabric there, the welling of blood slower than it might have been, unable to see in that dim light how deep or shallow the damage might be, how seeded with dirt and the dead flesh of other prey. Yum. The claws carried the same venom as the bite, but not every bear had venom. I am so sick of this fucking bear. Okay, I'm barely tolerating this book. When does the bear die? Surely it dies. There's a magician at some point who doesn't stop talking. I have thumbed through what feels like most of this book and still have not seen anything jump out to me that was remotely exciting. I'm fucking dead. Not her giving this creature a disguise. Bourne needed a disguise to be safe. Bourne needs to be put down.
That's what he needs.
I found a flower hat with just one bullet hole and a brown blood stain to match. Couture. I found a pair of large designer sunglasses because God forbid he wear non-designer sunglasses. I had the choice of putting him in a blue sheet or a black evening dress that I'd salvaged from a half-buried apartment. The evening dress was moth-eaten and had faded to a deep gray, but I chose it because I had nowhere to wear it and it was several sizes too big now. So Bourne reconfigured himself to be a little longer and less wide than usual, sucked his stomach in more or less, and put on this ridiculous outfit. Only on Bourne it looked good, and it wasn't until later I realized he'd drawn himself up in an approximation of my own body that I was looking at a crude, faux version of myself with green skin. But it wasn't complete for him. What about shoes? He asked me, and I regretted having gone off on a rant about the value of a good pair of shoes a couple of days before. Why stop now? You already gave the creature Chanel sunglasses and a couture gown. Of course you want shoes. Wouldn't you? You don't need shoes. No one will see your feet. Probably no one would see him, period. Everyone wears shoes, he said, quoting me. Simply everyone. You even wear them to bed. It was true. I'd never gotten over having to sleep in the open so often. When you slept in open, dangerous places, you never took off your shoes. Born really wanted shoes. He wanted the full ensemble, so I gave him shoes. Beautiful writing. I gave him my one extra pair, which were really boots, the ones I'd come to the city in. He made a great show of growing foot legs. And with his hand arms reached down to put on his new shoes, he'd muted his skin to a shade that mimicked my own. From the aperture at the top of his head, muffled by the hat, came the words, "We can go now." But if Born wanted the full ensemble, I wanted the full human. Of course you do. Not until you grow a mouth, I said, and a real face. As unsettled as I am by everything that I just read, I'm also bored. I'm not intrigued. I feel that I read a lot of it and nothing grabbed me, so goodbye. That was one hell of an experiment. Thank you to my friends over at Balesso for sponsoring another video. Link is down below to enter their giveaway and get yourself a free gift. Check out their website, they have so much to offer. I also have a Patreon if you want more exclusive content and to do things like book clubs, reading sprints, live shows, exclusive videos, all together. But my social media links are down below if you want to check me out anywhere else. All right, cuties, stay safe, be good to yourselves, be good to others, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.